Alrighty, hello everybody. Today you're going to learn how to solve an equation that has a variable on both sides of the equal sign. Remember that equal sign is like a brick wall, so you can't combine like terms across it. As much as you're like, oh, I have a 6r and I have a 7r, I should combine like terms. That's not what we do. We are still going to use don't call me after midnight, which stands for distribute, combine, move the smaller variable to the other side. Notice this isn't grayed out now. So that means this is what we'll be doing: add or subtract, multiply or divide. Now, let's get started. And I'll make it that. We're going to make our brick wall so that we remember we can't just, willy-nilly combine like terms. We can move things still using opposite operations or inverse operations. So there's no distributive, no parentheses, so good. No combining like terms because there's no two r's on the left, no two r's on the right, no two constants on the left, no two constants on the right. Now we're to this step, M. Move the smaller variable term to the other side. So you need to look at your two variable terms and decide which one is smaller. This one's easier because clearly this one is the smaller one. Well, to move it to the other side, we use inverse operations. What's the opposite of positive 6r? Well, negative 6r. And whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. Notice when I subtract it from the right-hand side, I put it underneath the 7r because they're like terms. I can't subtract the 6r from the 13 because they're not like terms. So make sure you're lining up your like terms. The 7 comes down, equals, you bring down the 13, and then you do the math. 7 minus 6 gives us a positive 1r. Now, this is just a regular two-step equation that you can solve like we've always been solving it. So you minus 13 from both sides. And then you get negative 6 equals 1r, or just r. I don't need to write the 1. Now, the check is still rewrite, replace, recalculate, and you're still looking to make sure the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. The only difference on the check is that you'll be simplifying both sides. All right, so we start out with our original equation, which I'll retype. So we have 6r plus 7 equals 13 plus 7r. I'm just going to change that font up a little bit. Give me a sec. Alrighty, guys, so I've kind of messed with the font a little bit, made it better. So now when we go ahead and we substitute in, we are going to substitute in the negative 6 for my r's. So I rewrote, now I replace. So I have 6 times negative 6 plus 7 equals 14 plus 7 parentheses negative 6. Notice I've replaced all of my variables with my answer of negative 6. Now I just need to recalculate. Alrighty, so now we're up to the recalculate part. So we have 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Bring down the plus 7 equals, bring down the 14 plus negative 42, or just minus 42, whichever you prefer. Now we continue to simplify. On the left-hand side, we have negative 36 plus 7 is a negative 29 equals 14 plus negative 42 is also negative 29. This should happen. This is a true statement. Negative 29 is equal to negative 29. Therefore, you did it correctly. All right, let's do the next one together. This says solve 6n minus 2 equals negative 3n plus 7. We're going to look for distribution first. No distributing, so we're going to put a check mark. Combining like terms, we got to make sure we have a brick wall, and there's no like terms on the left and no like terms on the right. So nothing to do there. Now we're up to our M. Move the smaller variable term to the other side. Identify your two variable terms and decide which one is smaller. In this case, the smaller one is the negative 3n. So we're going to move the negative 3n from the right to the left using inverse operations. The opposite of a negative is a positive, so we have positive 3n or plus 3n. When we add it to the left-hand side, make sure you add it to its like term. We can't add it to the minus 2 because they're not like terms, so we have to add it to the 6n. So we have 6n plus 3n gives us 9n. Bring down the minus 2. equals, these cancel out, leaving you with 7. Now this is a regular two-step equation. Go ahead and solve it. Pause the video. Alrighty, check your answer with mine. Make sure that you got the correct answer of 1. Now let's go ahead and do the check together because it's still a little weird, I'm sure. So first step, rewrite. 6n minus 2 equals negative 3n plus 7. Replace 6 times 1 minus 2 equals negative 3 times 1 plus 7. Recalculate. We're going to be recalculating both sides at the same time. So we have 6 times 1, which is 6. Bring down the minus 2 equals negative 3 times 1, which is negative 3. Bring down the plus 7. Simplify further. 6 minus 2 is 4 equals negative 3 plus 7 is also 4. This is a true statement, therefore you did it right. Alrighty. What I want you guys to do right now is I want you to try this one on your own. Pause the video. I'm going to do my work, and then when you unpause it, you can compare. Alrighty, guys, look over your work. Make sure you have the same answer of me as a equals negative 5. We'll do this check together just in case you're still having trouble. All right, step 1, rewrite. 2a minus 7 equals 5a plus 8. Replace. We have 2 times negative 5 minus 7 equals 5 times negative 5 plus 8. Let me bring that over a little bit. All right, so we replaced. Now we recalculate. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 minus 7 equals 5 times negative 5 is negative 25 plus 8. Now we need to recalculate. 10 minus 7 is negative 17, and negative 25 plus 8 is also negative 17. So we did it right. Alrighty, what I want you guys to do is I would like you to do both the solve and the check for this one on your own. Pause the video. When you unpause it, the answers will be up and compare your answers. Alrighty, guys, look over your work, pause the video, take a look at your check, make sure I identified the correct smaller variable term here. Remember, when you're talking about negative numbers, the bigger the negative, the smaller it is. So negative 4 is smaller than the negative 1. Now, if you did it the other way around, you should still be fine. You'll still get the same answer. If you didn't, show it to us in class because we need to find your mistake. Alrighty, same thing. Solve this one, check it. Let's see how you do. Pause the video. Alrighty, take a look-see. Here we move the 1/2 over by subtracting it from both sides, and you should get an answer of negative 8. Again, you have 1x equals negative 8, but just to remind you, you don't need the 1 in front because it's implied, it's invisible. So you could just have x equals negative 8, and then you have your check. Alrighty, guys, hopefully you got it right. If not, no worries. We'll practice some more tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you.